Welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the compelling history of the 21 American aircraft carriers that served during World War II. From the heroic contributions to the ultimate fates, we'll explore it all. So, if you're passionate about naval history and eager to learn more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for fascinating insights. USS Bennington was a member of the Essex class and entered service on August 6, 1944. During World War II, this carrier contributed to the late war efforts, notably participating in the Okinawa invasion. Post-war, the USS Bennington played a role in supporting the occupation forces in Japan. After a recommissioning in 1952, it was deployed to the Far East, where it actively engaged in the Vietnam War. In 1970, the ship was decommissioned and placed in the Pacific Reserve Fleet before being removed from the Naval Vessel Register in 1989. USS Bonhomme Richard, also an Essex-class vessel, was commissioned on November 26, 1944. This carrier had an extensive history of service, taking part in both World War II and the Korean War. During World War II, it participated in attacks on Okinawa and launched strikes against Japan. After the war, it was involved in the transportation of service members during Operation Magic Carpet. USS Bunker Hill of the Essex class was commissioned on May 25, 1943. This carrier played a significant role in the battles across the Pacific Theater, including Iwo Jima and Okinawa. It endured substantial casualties during the Okinawa invasion when struck by two kamikazes, resulting in a devastating fire. USS Enterprise was a Yorktown-class aircraft carrier commissioned on May 12, 1938. This legendary vessel holds the distinction of being the most decorated naval ship of World War II. It played a pivotal role in the Pacific Theater, famously sinking enemy warships, including 3 carriers at the Battle of Midway. USS Essex, the lead ship of the Essex class, was commissioned on December 31, 1942. It played a key role in the multiple Pacific campaigns, including engagements at Wake Island, Palau, Leyte Gulf, and Okinawa during World War II. USS Franklin, an Essex-class carrier commissioned on January 31, 1944, played a vital role in World War II. Its aircraft conducted strikes in the Mariana Islands, provided support for amphibious landings at Peleliu and Leyte, and engaged in battles at Sibuyan Sea and Cape Engano. Despite enduring kamikaze attacks in 1944, the ship underwent repairs and returned to the Pacific just in time for the Okinawa landings. USS Hancock, another Essex-class carrier, was commissioned on April 15, 1944. In April 1944, Hancock joined Adam W.F. Halsey's Third Fleet. Its aircraft conducted strikes on enemy airfields and shipping in the Philippines. USS Hornet, an Essex-class carrier commissioned on November 29, 1943, was part of the Fast Carrier Task Force 20. It played a pivotal role in the Battle of the Philippine Sea, famously known as the Marianas Turkey Shoot, where its aircraft shot down numerous enemy planes. The Hornet continued to conduct strikes in the Philippines and support ground troops. USS Hornet, a Yorktown-class air carrier commissioned on October 20, 1941, was the first of 2 carriers with the name Hornet to participate in World War II. The ship played a significant role in pivotal moments of the war, including the Doolittle raids, Battle of the Coral Sea, and the Battle of Midway. The Hornet's planes contributed to the sinking of the Japanese cruiser Mikuma. USS Intrepid, an Essex-class carrier commissioned on August 16, 1943, contributed to the invasion of the Marshall Islands and conducted successful raids on Japanese positions. The USS Intrepid was involved in the sinking of the battleship Musashi and launched attacks on Japanese carriers. USS Lexington was the first of 2 carriers named Lexington in World War II. Commissioned on December 14, 1927, well before the war began. During the attack on Pearl Harbor, Lexington was en route to Midway Island, delivering aircraft. It later engaged in divisionary attacks in the Marshall Islands. USS Lexington, an Essex-class carrier commissioned on February 17, 1943, was originally intended to be named Cabo but was instead named Lexington after its predecessor, which was sunk the previous year. This aircraft carrier played a pivotal role in the Pacific, notably in the Battle of the Philippine Sea, a significant American victory that signaled the decline of the Japanese Navy. USS Randolph, an Essex-class carrier commissioned in 1944, was deployed to the Pacific in February 1945. It conducted airstrikes against Japanese targets in the Bonins and provided support for the Iwo Jima invasions. After being hit by a kamikaze in March, Randolph underwent repairs and returned to action in April. It actively participated in the Okinawa campaign and launched strikes against Japan until the end of the war. USS Ranger was the first U.S. aircraft carrier to be purpose-built as such rather than being converted from an existing ship hull. During the war, Ranger primarily fulfilled escort carrier duties, lacking the speed and capacity of larger carriers. It served in convoy escort, aircraft transport, and amphibious support roles. USS Saratoga, commissioned on November 16, 1927, initially as a battle cruiser but later completed as an aircraft carrier, was the very first carrier in the USS Navy. Saratoga played a crucial role in the Guadalcanal campaign, sinking the Japanese carrier Rio and providing air cover for the landings. Despite enduring torpedo hits, it continued operations until the war's end. USS Shangri-La, a Ticonderoga-class aircraft carrier, was commissioned in September 1944 and arrived in the Pacific in early 1945. As the flagship of Task Force 38 and 58, it played a vital role in launching strikes on Okinawa and Japanese home islands. Following the conclusion of World War II, Shangri-La remained stationed in the Western Pacific until its decommissioning in 1947. USS Ticonderoga, an Essex-class aircraft carrier commissioned on May 8, 1944, served during the war and received 5 battle stars for its contributions. After World War II, it underwent modernization and was recommissioned in the 50s, first as an attack carrier and later as an anti-submarine carrier. USS Ticonderoga actively participated in the Vietnam War. The carrier was decommissioned in 1973 and subsequently sold for scrap in 1975. USS Wasp, the first of 2 carriers named Wasp during World War II, was commissioned in 1940 and lost in action in 1942. Smaller than the Yorktown-class carriers, Wasp initially operated in the Atlantic campaign before being transferred to the Pacific. It played a role in the invasion of Guadalcanal, but was hit by 3 torpedoes in September 1942, leading to its abandonment and scuttling. USS Wasp, originally named Oriskany but renamed in honor of the previous Wasp that was sunk in 1942, was commissioned in November 1943. The second Wasp earned 8 battle stars, and the ship underwent several changes in roles, serving as an attack carrier and later as an anti-submarine carrier. USS Wasp operated in the Atlantic, Mediterranean, Caribbean, playing a part to the retrieval of astronauts from several Gemini missions. It was retired in 1972 and subsequently sold for scrap in 1973. USS Yorktown, a Yorktown-class aircraft carrier commissioned on September 30, 1937, played a significant role in the aftermath of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. It passed through the Panama Canal to reinforce the Pacific Fleet, and despite damage sustained during the Battle of the Coral Sea, USS Yorktown participated in the Battle of Midway, contributing to the sinking of Japanese carriers. USS Yorktown, originally christened as Bonhomme Richard, was the second carrier to bear the name Yorktown and served during the war. It was commissioned on April 1943, named in honor of the previous Yorktown that was sunk during the Battle of Midway. Throughout World War II, this carrier played a pivotal role during the Battle of the Pacific Invasion, amassing 11 battle stars and earning the Presidential Union Citation. In the 1950s, it underwent modernization and took on various roles as an attack and anti-submarine carrier. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through the fates of all 21 American aircraft carriers in World War II. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow history enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more engaging content and remember to subscribe so you never miss another intriguing exploration of the past.